Good evening, everyone. Give us just a few moments. We're going to let everyone kind of click on our show this evening, and then we'll get started. Hope you're all having a great night. It's a beautiful night, full moon here in Bellevue. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening for another Live from the View program. I think you're going to find this program this evening to be absolutely exceptional, educational, heartwarming. Um, I think you're just going to learn so much from it. I know I have learned a lot just helping to put this together. So I'm extremely excited and bowled over to offer this to our viewers this evening. I'm Glenn Biggs. I'm the CEO and president of Community Arts of Bellevue. I'm really happy to be with all of you this evening. For those who don't really know, Community Arts of Bellevue is a local nonprofit organization that was formed a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, with a mission statement of to create, promote, educate, and uplift the arts and culture of the Bellevue and the West Nashville area. A lot of our programming doesn't necessarily always come from Bellevue, but we bring programming to Bellevue and we program out to the world. Tonight's program is going to be an exceptionally wonderful program that we just wanted to share this with you because it's a story that needs to be told and to be heard. Live from the View is a series of virtual programs that we've created in response to the pandemic. We knew that we had to stay in touch with our community and with our world. And we saw this as the moment in all of our lives, the true opportunity to need and to continue to bring community together, as nothing does better than the arts. So this evening, we are bringing to you theater, music, and autism. It's an evening with Dr. Blythe Corbett and some of her Vanderbilt cohorts and colleagues that you're going to have just a wonderful, extraordinary experience with. This is called Sense Theater, SENSE, Theater. It's an intervention research program that was developed by Dr. Blythe Corbett, who is our extraordinary guest this evening. You can see her on our screen now. That was created to improve the social functioning of children, of adolescents, and adults with autism. Today, we were able to meet two remarkably talented young artists on the spectrum, Katie Chance and Drew Basham, who offer to us a unique perspective and demonstration of what individuals with autism can possibly achieve and contribute to the autistic and scientific and us as a world as a whole. At this moment, I'd like to welcome to us in this program this evening, Dr. Blythe Corbett.
Hi.
So nice to see you. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being with us this evening.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So, Dr. Corbett, if you don't mind, I'd love to start off with just asking you a few questions about Sense Theater and what you're doing with this. It's amazing work.
Thank you. Well, it's one of my favorite topics. So
I can only imagine. I think it's about to be one of my most favorite topics.
Well, I hope so. Well, Sense Theater has allowed me to bring two wonderful things together, and that's art and science. It's, as you already started in your introduction, it's based in theater, but it's also a peer-mediated program. So we utilize typically developing children, adolescents, and adults that are paired with children with autism, that allow our kids that participate in our program to learn from what we consider expert models. But in the background, we also have rigorous research that's going on as well to see whether or not we're making a difference in the lives of individuals with autism.
It's a fascinating subject, and thank you for bringing this to all of us this evening. I love the perspective that you bring into this with the arts and the autism and the being able to give these young people such a great voice. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Many people know someone with autism, but they just not really may be familiar with the specifics of what the condition is. Can you tell us more about autism?
Sure. So today we call it autism spectrum disorder, and I think the operative word there is spectrum because there's so much variability in presentation. But I think the hallmark characteristic that most people on the autism spectrum share is difficulty with reciprocal social communication. And this can manifest in many different ways in verbal expression, but also nonverbal expression. The other area that a lot of individuals have difficulty is in repetitive, restricted, or stereotype behavior. And what I mean by that is they tend to engage in have thoughts that are kind of restricted to certain preferred topics, or they engage in behaviors that are rather repetitive. And so this can also impact how they navigate, how they interact with the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Corbett, if you don't mind, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background experiences that led you to developing this program called Sense?
Sure. Yeah. So it's been kind of an interesting trajectory, not exactly linear. So,
Arts usually are.
yeah. So I was a professional actor for many years and a writer. And I had always taken a real strong interest, obviously, in the human condition, which eventually led me to psychology. And so I went to school to get my degree and get my PhD. But I always remembered how transformative theater had been for me in terms of enhancing my social communication and perspective taking and better understanding other people. And so I started working with children with autism. And so early on, I had this idea, I wonder if this kind of transformation could take place for people with autism. And so eventually, once I started getting established as a clinical scientist, decided to bring those two worlds together and to make it a core part of my lab.
So, where did you cross the roads with autism?
So actually, I first started working with children with autism when I was an undergrad. And I used to work as a behavior specialist in the homes and in the schools, and then continued to work with them all throughout graduate school and then on for internship and postdoc. And so I decided that as part of my clinical science program that I wanted to turn this into an intervention. And so, as you can see on some of the slides there, we put on performances for the public, but also the participants in the Sense Theater program engage in rigorous research, much of it that has been funded by the National Institute of Mental Health, but also foundation grants and support like from the Vanderbilt Kennedy Center and others.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
So, I know that Sense Theater is an intervention program that's got a core research component developed into it,
Yep.
which allows you the funding and the programming to continue your work, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about maybe what you have learned through your research in all this
Sure.
program?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So, as I mentioned, social skills are an area of significant difficulty for most people with autism. And so that's an area we call social competence that we target in our program. So we have seen significant gains in several areas of social competence to include social cognition, or the way in which we perceive the world, our behavior, such as how we engage with peers in play and communication. And we've measured this in a number of different ways to include using imaging, brain imaging, to see if we demonstrate changes in the brain in response to the treatment, which we have shown.
I'm sure you have. I have no doubt. It's a beautiful program, and I'm sold from beginning to end.
Well,
With that,
one of the most exciting things about the program, though I'm biased, is actually our performances that
yeah,
we do. And so I would love to introduce to you two really incredible people. In fact, two of my favorite people in the world. So if you're game, I'd love to go ahead and introduce you to Katie Chance and Drew Basham. So Katie was diagnosed with autism at age 2 at the Vanderbilt Kennedy Center. After learning to speak at age 4 and receiving early intervention speech therapy, she excelled. She returned to the Vanderbilt Kennedy Center to become a peer in Sense Theater in 2016. And now in 2021, Katie has been involved with Sense Lab and the research program for 5 years. Alongside her time in Sense Theater, Katie graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater from Lipscomb University, and she's currently working towards her Master's in Education at Child Studies at the Peabody School right here at Vanderbilt. So in addition, Katie is dedicated to using her passion for theater and storytelling to inspire and provide resources and benefits to those with autism like herself. Also, Drew Basham is 22 years old with autism and ADHD. He began teaching himself to play piano at just 9 years old, and he's been performing since he was 12. As you're about to see tonight, Drew is also a writer. He's written several songs, and you're in for a treat because we're going to hear one of them tonight. Drew became the first accompanist on the autism spectrum for Sense Theater in 2019, and we have not let him go. He's been in every single one of our performances since. As you're about to see, music is his passion, and he can't think of anything better than making a career out of something you love.
Thank you.
So this is Katie.
Hello.
And
Good to
Drew.
see you.
Hello, how are you doing?
So I go way back with Katie and Chance, but I really want you all to get a chance to get to know them. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
So Katie, I'll start with you. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and also kind of share about your experiences having autism.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed when I was 2 here, and I was nonverbal until I was 4. I could actually sing before I could talk. And autism looks different in everyone, but for me, it was really that struggle with social communication. It was not always reading people the way that they read themselves. It was sometimes getting really passionate about things, which can really be an advantage, as I have learned as I've grown up and talked to other people on the spectrum. And it really has become something that I really take advantage of because I can really empathize with other people that I talk to, whether they're autistic or not. And I really just get to share my perspective.
Thank you. As you can imagine, Katie has been an extraordinary peer for our program.
Thank you.
So Drew, what would you like people to know about you?
I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2.5 years old. I was nonverbal until I was 4. And I taught myself how to play the piano when I was 9, and I start beginning to perform when I was 12. And I became the first accompanist for Sense Theater for Autism in 2019.
Yes, you did.
Mhm.
Thank you. And so Drew,
you.
for people who are not familiar with autism, what would you say has been a challenge with having autism?
Communication, because sometimes when others didn't understand me or them,
Yeah,
and
makes it really difficult.
it makes it really difficult to understand.
Mhm.
So what do you think has been a gift of having autism or positive?
The positive gift, I think, for autism, I think it's about God.
Oh, that's very nice.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for that, Drew. Katie, I'm coming back to you.
Okay.
So I know that theater has been an incredible influence for you as well as music. So how has it helped you to navigate the social world?
Yeah, so theater's been a really big passion of mine ever since I was little. And I think a lot of it is I got to step into other people's shoes and really build a character, someone that I wouldn't normally be, and just be that character for a little bit. And that's been something really, really cool. Also, just like the creative side of it has been wonderful. And I really, really love how you integrate that in Sense Theater with the condition I have. So that's really cool to see.
Also, I just want to add that theater too is a remarkable environment that's very inclusive and accepting.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can help all of us to feel a greater sense of belonging, I think,
Yeah.
too. So Drew, how has music helped you to kind of enrich your life?
Well, music has helped me to make friends and to have opportunities that I wouldn't have had. Music is a good therapy for the mind and soul, and most important, music comes from your heart.
Mhm.
What a beautiful answer. Thanks, Drew. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
So, as you know, our research, as we were just talking, with Sense Theater has really shown gains in social skills. But having your theater background and unique
Mhm.
perspective of autism, what do you think are the key elements of Sense Theater that are having this positive impact on
Yeah.
individuals with autism?
Well, first of all, I think it's a really, really cool opportunity that I get to not only perform, but also work in the lab with you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, first of all. Second of all, I think the biggest things, the two things I've seen is the peer modeling, being able to work alongside a peer and really build those team building skills. And then just that element of play and creativity. And again, stepping into someone's shoes and, saying like, how would this person feel in this moment? Because that might be difficult for someone who's autistic. So really practicing those skills, I think, is the best part of it.
Well, I think part of the best part of it too is hearing the two of these amazing artists perform. And
Thank
so
you.
I'm going to
Thank
get
you.
over there
Okay.
and get out of the way. And so I want to introduce this first song. This song is called All I Want. I wrote it with my dear friend Tammy Weiss. And it's from the play that I wrote called Makeover, which is a story of a simple teenage girl learning about taking chances, strange dances, and becoming what others see.
Have you ever wanted something so much you cannot say, for fear that just the thinking will make it go away? If I tell you my secret, you must promise not to share. If I trust you with it, you must hold it in your care. I want nothing more, nothing less than to capture this minute. Nothing more, nothing less than each and every second in it. Simply one wish for one simple girl. All I want is like a picture on the wall, a moment held in time. Imagine we could stop and frame it when everything is fine. Take a breath and hold it still, then touch it once for real. What wonders we could see if we pause to look and feel. I want nothing more, nothing less than to capture this minute. Nothing more, nothing less than each and every second in it. But we're always on the move, dreams we've left behind, going on to something new, then losing what we find. Perhaps there is something in doing nothing for a while. Wisdom to be gained, being still is still worthwhile. When everything is quiet, you can barely hear a sound. there's something so beautiful just begging to be found. I want nothing more, nothing less than to capture this minute. Nothing more, nothing less than each and every second in it. Simply one wish for one simple girl. All I want is to hold this moment. Nice job, dude. Good job.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You guys can go ahead, clap at home really loud. They can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear
Yes.
you now.
Wow. That is such a treat as a writer. You have these ideas of how a song is going to come out, and then you guys just take it to another level.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh my
you.
goodness. That was amazing. I think it's also a good message today where I think we all need to once in a while just be still, right?
Absolutely.
That's such a treat. Thank you so much. You're so talented.
Thank you.
Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to change it up a little bit. So this is now a different song. This one is called Why. And this is from our new adult program. There's a song I wrote, again, with my friend Tammy Weiss, and it's from a play called The Adult School, a story about a group of reluctant students who do not see the benefit of growing up until they meet a teacher who inspires them.
Meeting new people is scary, but you've done it all before. Your friend was once a stranger too, but now there's great rapport. Who, what, where, when, why, that's all you have to do. Who, what, where, when, why, in any interview. What? Doing new things can be daunting. It gets better if you try. Soon you'll be an expert if you do it, FYI. Who, what, where, when, why, that's all you have to do. Who, what, where, when, why, it's really up to you. The who is you, the what is that, the where is there, the when is then, but it's the why that gets me every time. Why, where? Going out can be unnerving, but it's just another place to move beyond your universe and search uncharted space. Who, what, where, when, why, that's all you have to do. Who, what, where, when, why, it's really up to you. When new plans can be unnerving, but it's cool to be surprised. Not sensing what is coming next is freedom in disguise. Who, what, where, when, why, that's all you have to do. Who, what, where, when, why, yes, it's all up to you. The who is you, the what is that, the where is there, the when is then, but it's the why that gets me every time. Why, not knowing is perplexing, be wise, hypothesize. If answers still don't come, smile and improvise. Who, what, where, when, why, that's all you have to do. Who, what, where, when, why, because I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. You!
Wow. Wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we caught you at home. Were you singing along? Boom, 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 boom.
The motions,
Emotion.
they're really catchy.
Yeah,
Emotions,
it's,
whatever.
it's contagious.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. That was so
Thank
much fun.
you.
I almost jumped up here to do it with you. but-
You should have.
No, I'm good. I don't sing. You know that. No, I like the way you do it.
Thank you.
But anyway, that was wonderful and really, really
you.
fun. Thank you. So now Katie and we're going to make a little exit here, okay? Because it's Drew's turn.
Great.
We're going to hear an amazing song, original song by Drew. This is one of his original compositions called Requiem Memoriam in E flat minor. Woohoo. That was fantastic. That was so good. You know, I got to tell you, I'm so glad you taught yourself to play piano at 9 years of age.
I know.
And now you're such a treat for all of us.
Thank you.
So that
I
was
really
excellent.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So does writing music give you the same joy as playing, or is it a different kind of experience?
It's it's some kind of different kind of experience. I think it's a different kind of. It's a thing, it's a song is about a person or an actor or musician who died of a drug overdose. But he's a really good person and a musician.
Well, you did an amazing job. So
Thank you.
So you and I are going to exit in a minute, but first I want to bring Katie up here. So
Hello again.
so Katie, did you have some questions? Do you want to chime in? I'm
I'll-
sorry.
I'll leave.
I want to reiterate how much the audience is like, how wonderful this is, and how much they're enjoying your music and your talent and your
Thank
sharing
you.
this of all of this. So thank you so much. I mean, people are like, job great done. I mean, everyone's absolutely just admiring your work this evening.
Thank
And
you.
so, I mean, I'm not really seeing any questions. I mean, audience, please, if you have questions, put them into the chat box. We'd be happy to share them, and we'll come back throughout the evening and come back and ask some of those questions. But I just think your music is outstanding and wonderful, and I'm very moved.
How does that feel?
Oh, thank you. I feel moved too.
Oh,
Drew is probably one of the most talented people I know.
Ah,
yeah.
well,
Mhm.
Hey, I know you were gonna say that.
It's
Thank
it's
I would-
above fast.
I would almost kind of say it takes one to know one on that
Yeah.
spectrum, because
Mhm.
you're both
Indeed.
beautifully talented.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm the beneficiary. Obviously, we all are. So, what do you think? You want to do your song
Yeah,
now?
I'd love to do my song.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
this is a special song called "They Don't Understand." It was actually co-written by her father, Dean Chance, and her mother, Teresa Chance, along with Steve Miller and Jeff Wood. It was originally performed by Sawyer Brown. But Katie, before you perform it, I recall you mentioning the song had a special meaning. So if you would go ahead and share with us the meaning of this song. I'm going to step out. Go ahead.
So this song is even more special because my parents are watching tonight. And so an alternative title to the song is the Katie song. When I was diagnosed, I would go in public with my parents, and I would run around, I would scream, I would cry, I wouldn't communicate the same way that my peers did, and people would stare, and people would look at us and be like, this child is not well behaved, these parents aren't good parents, I don't know what they're doing with her, and my parents would just look at each other and be like, they just don't understand what we're going through. So that's the inspiration for this song, They Don't Understand. A mother riding on a city bus, kids yelling, kicking up a fuss, everybody staring, not knowing what she's going through. Somebody said, don't you even care? Do you let him do that everywhere? She slowly turned around, looked up and stared. She said, please forgive them, but they've been up all night. Their father struggled, but he finally lost his fight. He went to heaven in the middle of the night. So please forgive my children. They don't understand. Everybody's busy with their own situation. Everybody's lost in their own little world. Bottled up, hurrying up, trying to make a dream come true. They don't understand. Everybody's living like there ain't no tomorrow. Maybe we should stop and take a little time, 'cause you never really know what your neighbor's going through. A man driving on the interstate, slowing down traffic, making everybody late. Everybody staring, not knowing what he's going through. Somebody honked from the passing lane, yelling out the window, I ain't got all day. The old man looked around and he caught his eye. He said, please forgive me, you know it's been a long life. My wife has passed away and my kids don't have the time. I've been left all alone and it's getting hard to drive. So please forgive me, children. They don't understand. Everybody's busy with their own situation. Everybody's lost in their own little world. Bottled up, hurrying up, trying to make a dream come true. They don't understand. Everybody's living like there ain't no tomorrow. Maybe we should stop and take a little time, 'cause you never really know what your neighbor's going through. A man hanging on a wooden cross, giving everything to save the lost. Everybody staring, not knowing what he's going through. Somebody said you don't have a prayer. If you're king, come on down from there. The man just turned his head, looked up and stared. He said, please forgive them, for they've not seen the light. They'll come to know me when I come back to life. I'll go to heaven to make everything all right. So please forgive your children. Everybody's busy with their own situation. Everybody's lost in their own little world. Bottled up, hurrying up, trying to make a dream come true. They don't understand. Everybody's living like there ain't no tomorrow. Maybe we should stop and take a little time, 'cause you never really know what your neighbor's going through. A mother riding on a city bus, kids yelling, kicking up a fuss. Everybody staring, not knowing what she's going through.
Okay, that's exquisite.
Thank you. Oh, I'm about to cry.
I know, me too. That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you so much.
Thank you for sharing that song.
Absolutely.
I will always think of it as Katie's song.
Thank you.
So, so I know, Glenn, you are going to join us again. And do you have any questions or comments from the audience that you'd like to share with us?
I am back with you. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many great, really wonderful comments about the performance. Like, wow, beautiful and heartfelt to you, Katie, on this song.
Thank you.
About your experience. It's a very special song, Katie, and thank you from Valerie. Teresa Johnston Clance said, "Clap, clap, clap."
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's my mom.
Oh, cool! So
it's my mom,
and a co-writer of the song.
Mm-hmm. I was also gonna say, I'm sure a lot of people relate to this song too, especially if they're families with autism, because they have, they go out in public and then people are like, "You're different than us."
Yeah, and so I'm hoping that song, but also the program in general, what we're trying to do, lets people know that the next time you're in a store and you see a child having a difficult time, you don't know the story. You don't know what they're going through. And maybe instead of critiquing or walking away, perhaps you can go toward and see if there's something you can do to help. And so because there might be an amazing, gorgeous, beautiful child like Katie or Drew here that just needs a little patience, a little support.
So. Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself, Blythe, on that one. I mean, you don't know what people's stories are. You don't know what's leading up to that moment. So Boyd also says, Katie, that was so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, we all need to understand what this is about. So this program this evening, I hope for our audience, helps everyone to understand a little bit more about what this is about and how that, that we have people with spectrums walking with us every day of our lives. And whether we know it or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have to love each other and accept each other for where we are.
Yeah.
And who we are.
We're really great. Thank you, Glenn. We're really grateful that you've put a spotlight on some of the work that we're doing, but most importantly, by incredible artists like Katie and Drew and the remarkable voices and talents to be able to share with the world. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let them close it up for us, unless there's anything else that you want to share.
I'm good. And if anyone has any questions, go ahead and put them into the chat room. We'll have one more opportunity to ask them to answer questions. So pop them into the chat. And yes, go ahead and take it over. It's all yours.
Okay. So this next song, we're going to kind of increase the tempo a little bit. We want to kind of end on a high note, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this next song is called It's Showtime. It's written with Ed Basil and myself. It's from a play called Circus del Se, which is Circus of the Self. It's a story of an adventurous boy from a small town with a dream of joining the circus. His wanderlust lands him on a train of self-discovery and new directions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And
Showtime.
Yes.
Welcome to the circus, the greatest place around. We've traveled many miles to bring our show to town. The train is all unloaded, the tent is up and ready. The clowns are in the crowd, a marching jamboree because it's showtime. Oh yes, it's go time. There's no time like showtime like now. It's showtime. It's ready, go time. There's no time like showtime like wow. You're in for quite a treat as the big cats come to play. Acrobats and dancers are going to make your day. Popcorn, cotton candy, drum rolls in the air. Animals and tamers leap without a care because it's showtime. Oh yes, it's go time. There's no time like showtime like now. It's showtime. It's ready, go time. There's no time like showtime like wow. This is all for you, children of every age. The greatest show you'll ever see is now on center stage. Because it's showtime. Oh yes, it's go time. There's no time like showtime like now. It's showtime. It's ready, go time. There's no time like showtime. There's no time like showtime. There's no time like showtime like wow. Nice! Woo!
Excellent. You guys did it. You're amazing.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Glenn, for
Thank
having
you, Glenn,
us.
for having us.
We're so grateful, and we'd like to acknowledge all the amazing people that helped us put this together that are shown now on the acknowledgments on your screen.
Mhm. Woo!
Can you bring me in? There you go. Hey, and now I'm back. Guys, that was simply absolutely amazing. Matt, can you bring both those screens up with Drew and Katie? Thank you very much. That was an exceptional view into the musicality and the artism that you guys have amongst you. There was one question that I saw come up that I would like for you to answer. Was there a favorite? Let me look it up. Hang on. There's been so many comments here about this. Was there a favorite play or musical that you guys really lean into and like?
Do you mean specifically with Sense Theater or just in general?
Just in
And
general.
since you've been with Sense Theater,
Mm-hmm. I'll give you my non-Sense Theater and my Sense Theater.
yeah, please do.
My favorite Sense Theater show is The Adult School because it was written and I got to perform it at a time when I think I really needed it because I was emerging into adulthood and I wasn't sure what I was doing. And a lot of the lessons in there were things that I really needed to hear. And then my non-Sense Theater show that I love is Godspell. It's the story of Jesus Christ and his disciples, and it's like rock and 70s and lots of games and clowning around, and it's really, really cool. And that's probably the show that has impacted me the most. Drew, what would you say is your favorite Sense Theater show?
Well, one of my favorite, it's got to be, some, I think it was all of them.
Mhm.
I think I like the makeover, I think, with Mary, I think the story of Mary was Mary Jones, like doing, we were trying to see what others see, and it's one heck of a show, and
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it, and it's really cool because I really like all of them, and my favorite is my favorite part. It was the greatest of all.
Mhm.
I love it when they do the curtain call. It's all that. I was like, that was when we do with the youth group, like
Mhm.
when we youth and adult group. When I play the music,
Yeah.
that was like an opportunity of a lifetime
Yeah.
for both of us. And for all of us.
And it's super fun to finally perform in front of people once we've been working on it so hard. So that's one of my favorite parts about it
Me
too.
too.
Mhm.
I want to point out that I'm going to say her name wrong or his name wrong. Dari Caravella Kresh, who's on with us this evening, says, pitch perfect, because you were doing some belting on there, lovely lady, and I
Thank
love
you.
all of that. But also Broadway bound. I love that.
Thank you.
And I think I saw another question. Will future productions from the Sense Theater be available to us on YouTube, or when they become available next?
That's a Dr. Corbett question.
So our next program will be in the winter, and we hope our next show, which we'll be performing in April, will be without masks, and we will be open for the public. And we don't charge anything, so it's free. And so come one, come all. We really hope that we're going to be able to put on an amazing show for you in the spring. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, can you bring up slide 17? I think it is.
For including us in your
Well,
show. It's
here
been
we
really
are. Yeah.
fun.
So I want to just point out and say to all of our viewers this evening that Dr. Corbett's Sense Lab is currently recruiting young adults with autism, ages 18 through 35, for a clinical trial in which participants will have the opportunity to participate in Sense Theater programs. If you're interested in learning more about the study, you can email the Sense Lab at, and I don't know, I think there is and I can see Matt's looking frantically for the slide. May not be available, but what we will do after the show this evening, we will absolutely put it up on our website for everyone, or on our Facebook and YouTube for everyone. I think it's coming up, maybe. Matt's looking for it still. Okay, Matt says no. I will find it for you, all the information for Sense Lab for all of our viewers, and I'll put it on our Facebook and our YouTube and on our website as well.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It is called Sense Lab, SENSELAB, at VUMC, Vanderbilt University Medical Center.org, or you can call them at phone number. You can jot this down quickly if you haven't been a paper. 615-513-9562.
There we go.
And we will get all that information out on our websites for all of you to have. There it is.
Oh, there we go. Magic.
Magical Matt has put it up. That's going to be Matt's name from now on. Magical Matt.
I like that.
We're going to put that on for this evening. With all of this, I want to really say a lot of thank yous to Dr. Corbett, to Katie, and to Drew for your wonderful talents.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, we have Mark Klemenchik. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Klemenchik, yes. And Brian Smokler, who have been behind the scenes on bringing all of this together for this evening. Could not thank all of you enough for this program. It's been
and you, Glenn, and Kathleen, and Matt, thank you very much for all your work here.
Yeah, Matt and Kathleen are they're the magic of what makes Community Arts of Bellevue happen and why we're here to do what we do. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out our show this evening. Thank you so much for all of you being here. A huge welcome and admiration and love to all of you, Dr. Corbett and Drew and Katie, for doing this show this evening with us, sharing your music and your talent and your love. And I can't wait to see you all in person super soon. And I hope you all have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. I hope you all have wonderful Thanksgiving holidays next week.
You too.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all soon. We're
Sounds
usually here. So look for us on our programming is usually on Thursday evenings here on Live from the View. You can always check our Facebook page and things for our programming. And we look forward to seeing you all soon. Happy holidays. Stay safe. And we love all of you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.